Yeah,
Yeah,
Mike. It was the start and the finish to the game that really, I think, doomed y'all. What went wrong in those two parts of the game?
I felt like we turned it over for touchdowns both of those times. Didn't give our defense even a chance. Turn it over near midcourt or in the backcourt, and then next thing you know, we're listening to the Florida Fight song over and over. The turnovers that led to points are indefensible. We weren't great defensively anyway, but certainly not on the ones where we've got no chance. I felt like that's what ignited both of their runs, and then I thought the times when we did not do that, we scored 58 points in the middle of them. So, but we're susceptible to that. That's who we've been. We've gotten better at maybe those streaks being a little bit shorter, but tonight they were at crucial times.
Yeah, and then last thing I'll ask is just, such a game like that where you have the lead going into the fourth quarter and you drop it. Just how do you feel like the team's bounced back well all year, but where are they at right now? Do you think?
They're good. We're sitting at 5-5. We're 500 in the league. We've lived in that area an awful lot. Again, I don't look at it as, a blown lead. I know that's easy to do. That's low hanging fruit to me. We fought, we got that lead. The fact that we couldn't hold on to it is troublesome. It makes you wonder, but I also know that we've got it. And that's when you watch that film. If we didn't clip when things happened, we didn't do it chronologically. If we just said, okay, let's go best to worst, our worst clusters. Okay. Our good is really, really good. Those clips would all be together. And then when it goes south, it clusters again. And it's a phenomenon that I know I've had other teams that have had it. We'll try some things to get out of it. But our good is really good and our bad is awful. We've got to cut the awful parts out and just don't be terrible for 4 minutes. Be some other term, but we can't be awful in this league. There is no bottom to this league this year. Some years there are, not this year. So there's not a game that you go into that you can survive a 4-minute stretch of being awful. You get exposed. And I thought we had 2 of those, the first 4 and probably someplace in the middle. I thought we tried hard. I thought some of our efforts good, but some of our effort, we call it faux effort. It looks good because we're diving on the floor, but you're diving after a ball they already have. Or we're trying to jump in there and rebound after they've already, a 6'4" kid's already got it chinned. And we get beat in transition on the other way because we were faux. Well, I was trying. Well, you were trying. There is no doubt. But you weren't trying to do the right thing on that. So that's where we got to keep coaching them. Got to keep showing it to them. And it has to hurt. Hopefully this one does hurt a little bit. I've spent just a few minutes with the team. We'll get time with them on the plane. I was hopeful that we could take a day off tomorrow with a Monday game. We may not do much on the floor, but there will be no off day because there's too many things from the film that we've got to look at and get fixed for these last 6 SEC games.
Anthony?
Yeah, and just kind of talking about that fourth quarter, obviously Florida has a big quarter. Can you just talk about what adjustments you kind of saw for Florida that kind of shifted momentum and how how can you learn from those going forward?
Well, I'm guessing I'm not over there in her timeout, but I know Kelly well enough. She's been around enough good programs, and I know the program she's building as a head coach. She probably looked at the stat sheet in the middle of the third quarter and said they're 19 of 19 from the free throw line. Hey, how about let us keep them off the foul line? I'm guessing. I don't know. I didn't hear her press conference, but she's got a good staff over there. I'm sure somebody pointed that out, and we went 1 for 1. They stopped. They just started walling up, and I felt like there were a couple times we threw ourselves to the floor with no contact, no foul, hoping to draw a foul, and they played good defense. So I felt like they probably said no middle drives because we were having a lot of success opening up the lanes and getting middle drives, Max, Sam, and Talia, and say they even got one. So my guess would be they said, hey, let's learn from the first 3 quarters. They're driving it through the middle and they're getting themselves to foul line. Let's make them make a shot. And we really struggled to do that.
Daniel, we'll wrap up with you.
So I was just wondering on that, on the second to last possession when y'all were down by 3 and Talia ended up going with the mid-range, I guess. What did you see from that, especially since y'all
Yeah.
aren't really a mid-range team?
Yeah, but there's 2 for 1 there. We had 55 seconds, I think, when we took the timeout. That's a magic number for 2 for 1s, and you're down 2 possessions. So we wanted to get the first good shot we got. That's a great shot that she makes an awful lot. It's hard to make that in the fourth quarter after you've played 39 minutes and you've been banging on it. But we were going 2 for 1 there, Daniel, hoping to get a 2 or a 3 there and then get a stop and have a chance to win the game back. Unfortunately, we didn't score and we didn't get a stop. So something we work on an awful lot. We've had a lot of success doing it. It just didn't work out tonight.
And then what kind of challenges did Mitharu pose for y'all at just 5'7"? Just have you ever seen a player like that?
Yeah,
at her
she
size?
Yeah, she hung about 25 on us a couple years ago when she was at Alabama, I think, or Mississippi State, and not Alabama, but Mississippi State. Yeah, I've seen her do it. That's a kid that's done it here. She's done it at Texas. She's done it at 3 high-level schools. I felt like we let her get too comfortable in the first half. There were a couple of possessions where she just rose it right up over the top of an uncontested shot, made it. And then when you get her confidence going, then she's a load, driving it in there. I thought she led her team. I thought they hit big shot after big shot after big shot too. I thought Warren hit some big shots. Broughton hit a big 3 after we'd gotten a stop and couldn't come up with the rebound. And the ball got kicked around and kicked around and kicked around. And it would end up in somebody's hands. Warren hit 2 or 3 that way, or 2, I guess. How many did she make? Yeah, 2 of her 3 were that way. And then I thought Broughton's were extremely timely. But I thought Mitharu ran her team. Correa came in off the bench and did what she's been doing to every team in the league. Just became a menace, driving the ball in and scoring in the mid-range. I put her up there in that category with Asia Petty as the kids who use their summertime the best of anybody in our league. That kid really is, and their staff did a great job developing her during the offseason. She's become an all-SEC type performer.
Thanks, Coach.
You got it.
Thanks, everyone.
Anybody else? We're not in any hurry. Steve, you have something?
If you have any Tennessee questions, you can ask them because I don't think we'll be able to meet.
Sure, I'll ask one. Just obviously with Rakia Jackson, ever since she's been back for them, they're a different team. What do you think about them with her especially?
Well, and Tamari Key's playing a bunch now too. She didn't play a lot early in the year, and both of those kids are all SEC performers, not from the past. And they're back and they're playing. It's a different Tennessee team. Key presents a lot of issues on us getting around the rim. Rakia Jackson is a defensive matchup nightmare. If you put a little kid on her, she posts you up. If you put a big kid on her, she takes her out to the perimeter. We've had some success with her in the past. One year we had pretty good success with her at Mississippi State, but there's been other times that she's kind of one of those kids that you have to make her work for everything she's going to get. You can't keep her from taking shots or getting shots. But I'm glad we have a little bit of the extra day because Tennessee now with Key back, with Rakia Jackson, full speed, they've got their full complement of players. It's a different team than a lot of people saw in the preseason.
That's all I have on them.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone.